This one is the main jet. This one is the float.
Royal Enfield is the most popular two-wheeler, especially in India, and it is the heartbeat of the youths. Like all other engines with carburetors, sometimes this also fails to start because of the dirt accumulation inside the carburetor. In this episode, let's learn some tips to clean the carburetor by yourself, especially in the lockdown time.
The choice is yours. This one is the float chamber, and this one is the overflow pipe. You can see here. This one is the main jet, and this one is the float, and here you can see a needle here. Okay, the purpose of the needle is to control the flow of petrol into the float chamber. So when the float chamber is filled with the petrol, what happens? This float will go to the high level and comes to the maximum high level. When it reaches to the maximum high level, what happens? This needle will close. It acts like a valve. When the valve closes, the flow to the float chamber will be closed. So the purpose of this float and this float chamber is to maintain the level of the petrol inside the carburetor. So because of this mechanism, what happens? The level of petrol inside this chamber will be always maintained in a particular level. So when the engine consumes the petrol, according to what happens, the level inside this float chamber will go low. When the level inside this float chamber go down, what happens? The float comes down, valve opens, again the flow from the tank will comes into the float chamber. So this one is the float, and you can see here this one is the needle. Okay, so what happens? You can see here this angular shaped seating surface. This one is the male, and here you can see the female. So what happens? This one acts as a valve which opens when the petrol level inside the chamber is low, and which close when the petrol level inside this chamber comes to the high level. So this one is the valve. This one is the main jet. Okay, you can see here small holes are there. Okay, which controls the fuel flow into the venturi. Venturi means where the mixing happens. This one is the venturi. Okay, where the petrol, air, fuel mixture happens inside this venturi, and this one, through these holes, through these jet holes, the petrol from the float chamber moves into the venturi. And this one is the additional jet. this needle controls the proportion of petrol mixing with the air. The mixing of air fuel happens in this area. So when it comes to the maximum high level, what happens? So what happens, here you can see that in this chamber, this is called the venturi. So in this chamber the mixing happens when this needle comes to the maximum height position. What happens, maximum fuel will be mixed with the air, and when it comes to the down position, minimum quantity of fuel will be mixed with the air.
choice is yours.